Coach, you have a real special group here. When did you know at some point, if you can keep them all together, this could be a great year?
First year. That first year I took over, had a great group of seniors that year, but looking at the sophomores, I knew that if we keep them together and they stay focused and work with the guys coming up to be leaders themselves, we'll have this. And they've paid it forward like that time and time again.
It is you've heard me talk about unusual 11 seniors. It's hard enough to keep 5 together. How'd you keep all 11 together, though?
They've been together a long time. They've played just about every sport possible together. They've worked hard together in the off season, trying to make this sport something they all focus on. Most of them play basketball and baseball together, but we all come back for soccer.
From an X's and O's standpoint, why is this team so good?
The chemistry. These guys, they might not say it, but I've noticed it since year one when I took over in sophomore year that the seniors. That would have been 2016. We caught a little bit of grief. I heard a lot of nevers when I took over. I affectionately call these guys the boys of never. They were told, you'll never win this, you'll never do that. We even had one local resident used to drive by every practice and give us a little encouragement from his car, if you would. And we used that. And, it didn't affect them, but they knew if they wanted to show the town and the state and their opponents something, they had to stay together. Couldn't let it affect them. Just use it as fuel. And, we were told, you've never won a sectional game. So we went out year one, took care of business. We were told next year, you'll never repeat. You've lost these people. You'll never do this. And we closed that down. This year, the seniors, they really grabbed hold of that and took it to heart that, we can cross off these nevers. We can beat a number one. We can get the number one ranking. We can put together a season that just looks amazing. These teams, University, like Sam talked about, he and I had a joke before the game about, hey, I'm 0-2 against them, and you're 0-4 or whatever, So we need to put that to an end, and it drove them to want and push themselves more than they ever have. And the Greenwood game was another one too. We've never beat Greenwood Christian, never won a PAC championship before. That conference title was something we eyed at the very beginning of the season as a target. And I've never seen them try so hard as being down 2-0 and coming back to win that in the last 15 minutes of the game. That was incredible.
From that standpoint, do you use that kind of motivation for the state tournament when it starts rolling around? And I'm not saying you come out and use that speech every time as far as, hey, listen, they said never. But do you think the players in the back of their mind have that as a motivation?
For sure. They know that every game is a chance and an opportunity to show their friends, their loved ones, the people that maybe don't believe in them, people that maybe are rooting for their failure. They can show them, we're still here, we're still standing, we're going to keep going and going and going. I had heard a quote one time that I relayed to them that, the love will make you strong, but the hate will make you invincible. And we try to use that, when they're out on the field, there's some trash talk that happens, and those guys just compartmentalize and move on. I mean, we pride ourselves on being humble and hungry, like Mr. Reichley said. That's something that I've preached to them since day one. You have to know where you came from. You have to know what your true goals are and set them and keep moving forward. And they do it every time, without fail.
It is, and you probably heard me talking about being a different animal, but you've been through the tournament before, but not as number one. How's that changed things?
It's definitely different. Like you had said, being the hunted instead of the hunter, it's different for us, but it's another challenge. I think the role reversal is going to be what propels us forward. These guys, they see that challenge now of, hey, we're getting the best game, even from teams that, people said, oh, it'll never be a problem. It's now the reverse, Every team is going to try a tactic or seek an advantage to knock us off because that's exactly what we would do. Moving forward in the sectionals, it's a different game. Every year, you may shut out a team in the regular season, or it may be a tie, and then you turn around and it's 1-0 second half, and you have to put something together in the next 40 minutes, and they're giving it everything, and you're giving it everything, and it's just fingers crossed and don't get a yellow card time.
You think the players kind of, I don't know how much they talk about it, but being number one going in and knowing that, again, everybody's watching you a little bit closer, the microscope is a little bit bigger?
Yeah, their curiosity's peaked, but we've spoken about how the number one, we respect it and we enjoy it, but we realize that it's just a number with a little bit of meaning attached, and it doesn't affect our play. It just affects everyone else's play. So we use it to our advantage when we can, and kind of in the back of our minds, we know that this is turning into something special, and just keep moving forward.
I know you've probably game planned a lot with them, trying to go after Brannicky as much and hold him down. Because I guess if I were the other coach, I'd say if I can at least hold him down a little bit, I might have a chance. How do you combat that? And I'm sure for the other players, they might take that as kind of an insult and say, okay, I'll show you.
Right, yeah. It fuels us multiple ways. I'm able to game plan using 8 or 9 guys every time for an offensive strategy, because we know some of the teams like to man mark Sam. They know that he is a target for us to use offensively, but Sam also knows it's coming sometimes, and he's able to back off and be humble and say, all right, this game, instead of 4 goals, I'll have 4 assists. Nick Berger, Adam Deitch, Nate Dickman, so many good offensive talents. Jacob Royer. He's been phenomenal for us, coming out of the back line, moving forward with the offense. We have so many weapons that if Sam is shut down, if anything, that just pulls a defender for us and lets the other guys go to work. So we take pride in the fact that multiple people are going on the board for us this year and putting everything they can into that offensive attack.
What are you looking forward to the most when this thing gets rolling?
Looking forward to just staying healthy, staying focused, and not get too far ahead of ourselves. It's new water we're swimming in here, being number 1 with a decent record. And this year, first year that I've had it, where we're all going in healthy, and everybody's common goals as far as what the end line is, where the finish line's at.
You don't think focus will be an issue at all then?
Not at all. Not with all those seniors. We jokingly say that this is the Republic of Seton Catholic. We talk about how we have no Caesar here, and we're a republic of all these seniors that take command of this team. I don't lord over them. I let those guys take ownership of this team and give them something to be proud of, that, hey, with coach, we did this, not coach did this. I want them to see that they can do this together. And that is where the focus comes from. The younger guys see it. Some of our guys that don't get a lot of minutes because we have so many seniors, they see it, and they'll go in off the bench for us and give everything they have, even if it's 10 minutes. They'll give everything.
And I don't like to do this being a former coach, but I've got to ask you, when it's all said and done at the end of the year and you're hoisting that trophy, what might be going through your mind at that point?
I don't know. If it's the big one, I don't know. I might have to ride off into the sunset. if
your AD don't want to hear that.
Say, don't tell Mr. Tremaine. We'll talk about the contract later. No, at the end of the year, I just, even the years previous where they've ended in a defeat, it's been just the best part of my year to spend with these guys for 3 months or so, and just see what they're doing. I live a little vicariously through them because I didn't have soccer at my high school. So to see them achieve all these goals and accomplish so much with such a good group of guys, solid individuals, it makes me feel good for them and for their futures. And any trophy, whatever it is, whatever we're hoisting at the end of the year, I'm proud of these guys. I love being their coach.